All right, let's have a quick chat about why basking material matters. Most basking platforms and reptile enclosures are made of stone, wood, plastic, or resin. Choosing between these materials may seem like a matter of aesthetic preference, but each react to being placed under a heat lamp slightly differently, which means that it's actually a matter of thermal performance. First, stone. There's a reason why wild reptiles are often found basking on stone or artificial stone such as concrete or asphalt. Stone absorbs and retains heat really well. When air temperatures drop below the temperature of the stone, or when a cooler temperature reptile sits on the stone releases its stored heat or energy into the air or reptile has radiant warmth. Of course, these properties do vary, depending on the thickness, density, color, and even polish of the material, as these factors affect how much light or energy gets absorbed versus reflected, as well as just how much of that energy the rock is capable of storing. For example, light to medium colored stone reflects more light than dark colored stone and is often more comfortable to sit on because it's less likely to heat up to uncomfortable temperatures. Try standing barefoot on concrete versus asphalt on a sunny day to experience this difference. In a REIT stack context, thin stone like unpolished tile is best since it allows heat to transfer down through the layers. But if you're using a single rock for the basking surface, then thicker is likely to be better. Next is wood. Wild reptiles also often bask on wood, stumps, tree branches, fallen logs, and even man-made objects like fences and picnic tables. Compared to stone, wood heats up slowly and doesn't release its stored warmth as readily. In other words, when placed under the same heat lamp at the same distance, a flat piece of wood is going to have a lower surface temperature than a flat stone. This can be useful when you're concerned about surface temperatures getting uncomfortably hot when a heat lamp's power density or basking air temperature are otherwise within range. The original REIT stack developed by Frank Reitz was built using thin pieces of wood for each layer. Heat from a lamp or even the sun permeates the many layers more readily because each piece of wood doesn't absorb or take as much energy, creating a more even temperature gradient through the layers from top to bottom. Then there's plastic and resin. As man-made materials, plastics and resins have a broad spectrum of thermal conductivity. Some heat up very quickly, while others are slower to store and release their warmth. Different types of plastic perform very differently when heated. Like stone, how a plastic or resin basking platform will react to a heat lamp depends on the thickness, density, color, and polish of the material. For example, artificial rocks like those made by Universal Rocks are hollow on the inside and made of a proprietary polymer blend. This results in a basking surface that doesn't absorb or retain heat very well, so surface temperature is likely to stay relatively low. A resin cave or basking platform from the pet store, however, is likely to have a higher thermal conductivity and can quickly get uncomfortably hot to the touch when placed under the heat.